Hello everybody, this is Pete from PA Labs, and today's video is devoted to a couple questions I've been asked regarding the tiling system. Is it opened up? How does it work? That kind of questions. So I got ready to make this video a little while ago and discovered that, oops, I forgot to expose one screen. So thought about where it ought to go, and it decided that it belonged in the core configuration. So now we have a new option in here in core called universal tile. But first we're going to go through both of these menu options in some detail in just a minute. But first I want to point out the tiling structure. How does the tiles actually work? And now when I do the source deployment, the entire project folder here is going to be the deployment. So what I want to do is show you the tiles and the navigation of images. There's a ton of images in this system. So if you go from the root, you have images. If you got questions about images in the designer, you can go here. Well, that's a misnomer, isn't it? Yeah, that's actually going to be the game player. But right now the game designer stuff is here, and the game map designer is here. All of the menu and things like that are all under GUI. The RTF screen has its own stuff. And I have stencils with my stencils that I've used. And then Unit Master has everything to do with units. Now, we're going to drill in on the map designer. And here we have the custom cursors that are used in the map designer. And I think, yeah, that's all of them. And then we have the default images. Now, default images has a lot of stuff in it. So initially, it's got some just handy, useful stuff. The null 48 is a 48 by 48 grid that actually has a background. And then we have a selected tile, so a square tile selected. And then when you're like drawing circles and squares, you get the dots. Well, that's where the dot comes from. So that's just a general purpose using kind of thing for this. If you want to go into the pointy top tiles, we have the city. Now, these graphics here in city are actually going to be used, and they'll probably be moved to the game player. But this is the structure that's going to be used when editing your city in the game player itself. So then we have hexes. Hexes is very important. Hexes contains a positive and negative of the pointy hex at a 128 by 128 inch square. It also has a black border, which is actually what the grid is made of. I have a green and a red for when you select, and I have a white. So the pointy center, and this is the positive and this is the negative, are used to generate the actual graphics that you put on the map from the universal tile. And I have, if we go into, whoops, I didn't want to go that far back. Oh yeah, we got to go to, let's go to flat top. Inside flat top is the hexes, and we have a positive and negative here as well. That's very important to note and have. So actually that name is wrong. That's what I get for copying things. This is, the name already exists. Oh yeah. All right, never mind. I'll fix it later. So this is where the flat top positive and negative exists. Now let's back up and go ahead and come over here. Default images. Let's go to universal tile. Now, what is universal tile? Well, a while back I had done a project kind of mimicking the RPG game maker map maker. And I studied their design and I liked it. And I kind of stole the concept but modified it to my own liking. For example, let's go look at crops. And this will come up in the Linux version of paint.net. So this is the graphic here. It's made up of two pieces. There's a 48 by 48 mini at the top, and then the entire rest of the graphic is a 128 by 128. And that leads us to having a 196 height and a 128 width. The mini is used for the selection, tile selection pop-up screen. This is where that great big list of tiles shows up, and you select one, double click it, and then you go put the real tile on the grid on your map. Well, this down here, the bottom half, is what makes that tile. Now, if we came over and let's go ahead and open up a second copy of this, and I'm going to back up here to go to pointy top hexes, and let's open up the positive here. And now, granted, this came up in a different window, but that's okay. We're just going to, let's see, edit, select all, edit, copy. And then I'll get that out of the way and go back to here, and we can say edit, paste into a new layer. And are you going to let me move him? Good. So, whoops. Okay, so when on the fly, through code, I actually use this positive and kill everything in black from that 128 by 128. And that is how I generate the pointy top hex. Now, I've got the positive for the flat top hex, and there really is no positive for the square because the 128 by 128 is the square. So in code, I convert this 128 by 128 into the various shapes that is necessary for the game map that you're building. So I want to point out that this is completely open. You can create any tiles you want. We're going to discard that. You can come in here and build your own bridges and cemeteries and cities and factories and whatever else you want to build. If you got old maps or old games that you can clip pieces from, you can come out and build the 128 by 128 and then the little mini and load them into the system. Now, there's a few caveats. And I thought about it when I saw it, but I didn't point it out. Let's go show you one other thing here. There are two types of universal tiles, and that's because I'm lazy. I didn't want to load a billion different foliage tiles, okay? So what I designed is, or actually that's not the right one. File, go ahead and quit. Let's go to foliage. I grabbed the wrong one. Foliage. Now, this is a very different tile. It starts out with a 48 by 48 at the top. The little mini is always there. And then it's a 3 by 4 grid of 12 variations of foliage. Okay, so this tile is in reality 384 by 576, and its flags, that specific size is designed specifically for this. When you select the mini of this foliage, as you place tiles, a random number generator grabs randomly any of these 12 tiles. That way you don't have to mix and match and come up with, oh crap, I got 3 of them in a row that are the same. Now I got to go back and change it. Well, it's just randomly chosen from here and it's used. So if you have the situation where you have many of the same and you want them to always be different, then this is the universal tile structure to use. All right. So that's the only other offset to this tiling structure is the 2 formats. The straight up 196 by 128 that's got the bottom and the little mini, and then the foliage type. All right. So let's go back to the actual how do you get to the terrain structure to go create your own terrains? Well, there's 2 pieces to terrains. First, we have the terrain categories. Terrain categories are very important. The system categorizes and keeps track of what things are based on the category type. Okay, this is the category type. So academies must belong to the academy type. Same with airstrip, beaches, borders. So you can actually add your own, and as long as they conform to standard sorts of things, it should just work fine. Although I think I've got pretty much everything covered. If you want to come up with more objective hexes, you can do that. So it identifies what it is and where is it used. All right, so is it a city? Is it terrain? That right now, that's the bulk of it right now. So you have to deal with a finite list of categories, but you can add to it. So that's the category side of things. Now for the actual universal tile. Now the universal tile, you look at it based on the tile shape. You can drill in on pointy tops. You can drill in on the flat tops. You can drill in on the square. So as you can see, I've not loaded any of the squares in yet. So we'll look at pointy top and flat top. And I actually have all of these for the square. I just haven't loaded them yet. They'll be there by the time I deploy it. So now you have 2 kinds of standard tiles. If you notice, this is a border. This is a beach hex. So it looks like sand, and it's covering the east wall of the pointy top hex. So you have all 6 sides here of east all the way to west with everything in between. Okay, you have to build each and every one of those individually and load them all in. So somebody can have a beach on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, top or bottom, and they can cover it with a beach. So kind of a pain in the butt to build. And if you notice, most of the tile is alpha. Okay, it's null. All right. So when you come out here and load this in, you need to be able to put in a name. What category does it belong to? What grid type does it belong to? And for graphics like this, it's an alpha graphic. It has lots of empty null space, unlike things like cities and farms that are not, they're no alpha at all. The whole thing is covered in. So with color and graphics and stuff. Now the going around the graphic here from north all the way around to south and back up, this obviously you have north, south, east, west. So this this big set of 8 works for all graphics. You just ignore the ones that don't count for you. On the pointy top graphics, we don't use north and south. On the flat top graphics, we don't use east and west. Just kind of deal. So what this identifies is what direction is blocked. If the entire cell is blocked, in other words, like a mountain is great big thing and nothing flies over it, period, done. Then you use the block over here on the right hand side, okay? If it just blocks the eastern side, let's pretend that this is a wall, then it would block going east. So all you would do is check east. So then that tells the A1 search and all of the algorithm stuff that paths and tracks and tries to find shortest routes, what direction is blocked from any hex that uses this. So in the check of blocked, he actually spins the list of what graphics are in here and what direction is blocked. So that is what you're tracking here. And then when you're done, go ahead and save it. So let's come down and look at some other types of, like fog. Fog's a good one. So I don't have a whole lot of fogs. It took me a while to get this. This has no alpha. And it's a whole thing. It doesn't block anything, but it fills the entire grid. Okay, the file cell. All right, we can go to foliage. Well, foliage is a real special character, but you get them all down here. This the same. It kind of self-expands itself. So you can see it. And things like this, yes, this has alpha. There's lots of open space for the ground to show through. And so it's got to be marked as alpha, and it doesn't block anything, so that's all cool. Now, you've seen on this screen also, here's the various colors of grass. I have a destroyed here, and that is right now for future use. I put it in as I think I'm going to use that flag, but I haven't come up with the use for it yet. My idea was to have, say, on city hexes, as your city gets destroyed, we would have various destroyed city images to replace your city on the fly in the game. That's the concept behind it, but I haven't figured out a way to get that working yet. So I still leave it in here because I want to get that working. I don't have it in my head yet on how I'm going to do it. So that's what the destroyed's all about. Right now, just leave her alone and you can let things be. So you can upload your graphics, and if you're going to be sharing your database and your graphics, which most likely you will, I would love copies of the graphics people come up with, and I'll add them to the core product, and then redistribute the thing so everybody can have these cool graphics that people are coming up with. I know there's an awful lot of creative people out there. This is I'm far more right-brained or left-brained than right-brained. My artsy crafts side is not very good, but my design and building stuff is pretty good. So I'm sure there's some cool graphics people can have out there. So when you make your graphic, make sure to have it loaded for all the different size. If it's a universal, it'll automatically go to all. If it's like the river hexes or the grass or the borders, or let's go to rivers. Yeah, rivers. So these would need a unique set for each pointy, flat, and square. Okay. So if you build those kinds of graphics, then yeah, try to get them all in there. And let's see here. Oh crap, my cable's caught. Okay, so that is how you load and mess with the terrain. And the code itself is built into the, I have a trim function, trim tile function in the draw on canvas code sheet that actually handles taking and trimming the universal tile down to the right square. So, or the right hex. So anyhow, that pretty much concludes this video. And as always, thank you all very much for watching.